I wanted to stop you and ask questions in the middle, but it's kind of when I have the thought, and sometimes my thought when I have it, then it will be like, then it goes away. I should have made some notes, but I was I want to focus too, my attention. I don't want to be over here writing notes and then my full attention ain't given. When you're, they say when that's why people say multitasking. I said multitasking is rude because you're not giving something your full attention, and that's people take pride in, oh, I could do multiple things at once, but you're not giving nothing your full attention. Nothing's getting your complete attention.
Yeah, it would be integral tasking because you can integrate several tasks in one task. But multitasking, well, yes, you can sometimes
miss something, or
exactly.
Yeah, you're not given, you're multitasking, or I'm talking to you and I'm talking to somebody else on the phone at the same time. I could do it, but it's rude first and foremost, and then you're not having that complete connection. There's a connection there, yeah, but it's kind of fuzzy, maybe.
There is an idea in the fourth way teaching, which is until you are not able to pay attention, full attention to 4 points at the same time, you cannot be considered a true man in the conscious way.
Wow.
There are exercises, even with the movements designed by Mr. Gurdjieff, and even with the Enneagram, that measures your degree of attention. So you are able to pay attention to yourself, and that you are watching, that expanded attention,
right,
somehow is a double attention. You are paying attention to your ordinary self and to your divine self.
Right.
But that requires a huge amount of attention. we don't usually have that energy available every time. We can have that energy for specific moments, but we lose it. So we have to collect the energy, economize the energy. And we will see this the following day when we explore the foods and also the octaves of the foods.
Yeah, that's what that article, was it article or video or both maybe, where you where was the 9 points of the Enneagram, and then the 9 fruits of the Spirit, and the 9 Our Fathers, and the 9 of the Sermon on the Mount, how you connected all those together too. That helped me understand this, what you're moving forward with.
Yes, I think the 9 is behind many of the teachings of Master Ishu. The 9 fruits of the Spirit and the 9 Beatitudes are connected. The 9 Beatitudes, I think, sum up the whole teaching of the Master.
Absolutely.
And it's amazing when you understand them with the words he probably used in Aramaic.
Yeah.
And in Hebrew. Everything expands.
Yeah. I try to, a couple of my couple friends are they're religious, and they view the Master through the religiosity eyes, and I try to steer them to the love of the Beatitudes, and how he changed it on a whole. He made it such a deeper understanding of the laws, so to say. He said he did not come to get rid of the laws, but to fulfill them. and how he says, well, in the old, you have heard it said, eye for an eye or tooth for the tooth, but now I say, love your enemies. And that they're like, huh? Well, I mean, it's right here. It's not me saying it, you know what I mean? But they still want to go, they're that's that duality there too, though. You could see it because it's like, that's the mirror looking into itself, because you have, okay, I never committed a murder, but I looked at a man in hate, so I murdered him in my heart.
Exactly.
Yes, and then I never, I might have not have physically been with another woman, but if you look at her with lust in your heart, then you have committed adultery with her. I mean, to me, that's plain and simple. I mean, and it's so, it makes so much more sense than, just because in the physical, because that makes you see too all the different bodies that we have with the yeah, you didn't do it with the physical body, but you did it with your mental body, or you did it with your spiritual body, and that's the I just, you just want other people to notice and see what you notice and see, and you have that hope for them, and you're like, come on, just and you could see it in their eyes when you're telling them, they're recognizing it, but then they just revert back to what's comfortable for them, I guess, at this point.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was the main addition of Master Issue when he said he didn't come to cancel the Torah, but to fulfill it, and he gave the true spiritual meaning of the commandment.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And that's a wonderful thing.
It's more difficult. If you notice, it's even, I wouldn't say strict, but you require a full process of awareness and developing that will and consciousness. Otherwise, you cannot do anything.
Yeah. Like you say, if you can't focus on them 4 points all at once, but that's kind of not, that's not, how you call that, multitasking, because that's bringing them all together. You know what I mean? In a oneness sort of thing,
Exactly.
to where, yeah, it's not focusing on
Yes.
8 different things at once. It's more focusing on them and bringing them into the center, where you could observe them. You know what I mean? Kind of, yeah, but
I think when we are paying attention to our mind, our heart, our body, and our soul, spirit, we are gathering those layers together. And even they are distinctive or different in a way, we perceive it in a whole act of consciousness. And this single act is a taste. It's not even a sensation in the ordinary sense of physical sensation or ordinary awareness. It's something else. It's a subtle consciousness which is full of blissfulness. It's a miracle when we have this perception, self-remembering. We remember what we are, just limitless beings.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I mean, it's that's that still small voice. That still small voice, that subtleness, you just gotta you gotta quiet everything, so to say, to just listen to that one, listen to that one voice, and that's where the harmonia, that's harmonia, that's the serenity, is that perfect, so to say, harmonia that's just woo. And I mean, you long for that, you know what I mean? There's a longing, kind of, because that's where you came from, and you know it, and you kind of, that's home, and you kind of miss home, you know what I mean? The harmony of just being home,
Yeah.
so to say.
Then comes the need for responsibility to bring that to the world. But how can we bring that infinite potential to a world? I think it's by overcoming our own doubts, our own laziness,
Absolutely.
slow growth, hate,
Over.
everything.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how you do it. I mean, you, by being the example, you know, by being the witness, you know, you know, Master Ishu came as the first fruits, and you know, if when you follow in his way, when you get to that point, you're able to show, hey, look, this can be done. It's not impossible. You know what I mean? I already done it. I have overcome the world, so to say. You know what I mean? As Master Ishu said, and it's not, it's, you know, and it's just being that light, you know, as you say, I am the light of the cosmos, you are the light of the cosmos. Even being that light, just to shine, you know, just to shine a little light on that seed, you know, that's because I read it this week. I wanted to send it to you. It said a seed cannot sprout without it being planted in the dirt. You know, I mean, you can germinate a seed in a paper towel on a thing, but it's kind of with the blanket over in the darkness, you know. But it's like
it's devoid of nutrients.
Yeah, and that's the how you call the humus. That's the humus is like a is what they call that when you like fertilizer almost, and
exactly.
like a compost pile. So you
exactly.
really, they throw all this humus on us, and all it is fertilizer for us to grow. You know,
yeah.
So it's like,
this is why it's meaningless when someone says, well, how evil were these architects that they put two contradictory forces in ourselves, the inclination towards evil and inclination towards good. They are very evil, they are bad, they are Jehovah or the demiurge.
Yeah.
Some Gnostics think like that.
Yeah, before I began speaking with you, yeah, I was like, I definitely, there was good and bad, you know what I mean? And now I understand it on a whole separate level where they're the infinites, which, yes, they have all this wisdom, and they may even have the understanding, but maybe they're lacking the love. Maybe they're lacking some hope, you know what I mean? Or lacking some faith, or, you know, and love is the answer, you know. Love is right there at the pinnacle. So it's like you could respond in love, you know. You could say no in love. I understand it that way. I'm not, and you could disagree in love, you know. But yeah.
Yet even Master said, let thy attitude be yes, yes, no, no.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Because
Anything else is, you know, don't be lukewarm. Yeah.
the left column in the semiotic tree is restrictive, or implies some determination, discipline, and for that you have to restrict certain weaknesses. So denial can be holy denial. This is why we can holify the three forces: affirmation, negation, and reconciliation can be holy. That's a rather ignored aspect of the law of three. The main unification of the three forces, turning the negative experience into something positive, because our desires are restricting They are saying, give me this, give me that. I need more, I lack this. But when you infuse your sense of abundance in that feeling, then you overcome that weakness. So the process of overcoming is positive. So in a sense, even the negative is positive because it gives you the possibility to overcome it. So,
yeah, that's a huge key right there. Yeah. How do you say that? You have to infuse the
you have to infuse the light into your negativity or your abundance, your sense of abundance.
Yeah, your sense of abundance.
Even the Hebrew sages say that the purpose of Satan is to be conquered or to be defeated. In a sense, our lacking sensation has a purpose, which is to help us develop our will. We cannot develop will and consciousness, or even listening to the voice of conscience, in an absolute state of blissfulness. We need to struggle to develop our muscle.
Right. That's so crazy because like you're being stingy and you feel that you need this, give me that and this, but really when you apply your sense of abundance into that, you're lacking nothing. And like the stinginess is for what reason? Like like it just goes away because once you realize the abundance that you truly realize the abundance where you come from, that stinginess is no longer
exactly.
Yeah.
When you invest your light and your efforts into expanding the light, even your material needs are going to be covered economically, in terms of support with others.
Absolutely.
Because the universe helps you.
Yeah. Seek first ye the foundation of divine reality, and everything else will be added on to you. Yeah. Because I mean, you imagine the hole on as a light bulb, and it's a LED with all the little lights inside, and every little light that you light up, that hole on becomes brighter. The whole on with every little light that's added, every little light that you project, and that's and of course you're not illuminating yourself, you're illuminating the whole. You're directing the attention to the whole, the absolute, which is the source of the light, or is the light.
It's the light. The problem is when we obscure our light, when we bring shadows, even the power of the light becomes opposite. That is a paradox. How consciousness and loving will can get somehow isolated or separated and become degraded. And this is why hate comes from love. Or when the intelligence of the serpent comes from divine consciousness. Even in myths,
absolutely.
Sophia is in Samael.
Absolutely. Everything comes from the one source, but it's the angle of the reflection that causes the shadow. And once you understand the angles that everything's coming from you at, you could be that mirror that reflects back. You could be that reflects back the light without the blind spots everywhere. Yeah. It gives life a whole new sense of like meaning and purpose, when you start understanding stuff like this. Because if you just go day to day with like working and like paying bills and taxes, and they're doing this and doing that, it's just like people get stuck with that's what life is. That is life to them, and like that's not, that's living. That's no, not even living. That's existing. That's not life. I give the example of when I try to explain to people what's the difference of existing and living, I find a tree branch laying on the ground, and I say, look, that tree branch is existing, but unless you're in the vine, in the tree, you're not living. You can exist.
Yeah.
You can exist without
Exactly.
being in the tree. Look, it's right there. But once you're in the vine and you're grafted in, you are the branches, then that's when you're alive. That's when real life and real living begins, you know.
That's why the absolute Father God does not exist, but insists and subsists, making
Yeah.
things exist. So when people say, no, God does not exist, okay,
Right.
it's
Yeah,
pure essence giving out
right,
the possibility of existing.
right. And how'd you say? I think how'd you say it too? There's a difference between the uh existence. I think it is, and essence. It's the essence of life, not the existence.
Exactly, because
Yeah.
existence comes from ex sistere. Ex is from, or even outwards.
Yes,
And
that sounds like exit.
exactly,
Yeah.
you come from something previous.
Right.
So the essence is primary than existence.
Absolutely.
Mm. So we can say there is substance or insistence, force, which make things exist. I think that's the tetragrammaton.
Mm-hmm.
Backwards is existence, but forward it's
Yeah.
the force, the essence that makes things.
Yeah. I seen that. I seen you say that a couple of times too.
Mhm.
It's just, it's beautiful when you could see that, you know what I mean? And you know that.
Mhm.
It's it's definitely how these, that's a comfort, and saying, hey, what you're doing is, not just for all for naught, you know. It's definitely for a bigger purpose,
Mhm.
you know.
And even what we experience in terms of suffering, scarcity, is not even the 1% of reality that we see.
Right. That's crazy.
Physicists already say that
Yeah.
the dark matter and dark energy is the 99%.
Right.
And they don't know what it is. They cannot explain
Is that the absolute? That's the essence.
exactly. The 99 sheep of the master. We are the lost sheep, the 1%.
Yeah. Plain and simple. See, he makes it plain and simple too. Yeah. Uh,
Mhm. Even the sheep are somehow giving the sense of abundance because they have lots of wool. Well, some try to shear them off and
yeah.
eat their flesh, the same
Right.
as light beings are somehow exploited. Because when we come here, the forces of darkness try to
Mm,
mm, abuse us and get our light in order to
yes.
make others think they have the light. So I think that's why we were compared to sheep, like the passage of Isaiah,
Yeah.
that the servant Israel was taken like a lamb to the slaughterhouse.
Right. Yeah. Hey, but they could share us, but our wool grows back. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's we come from an everlasting source where our wool will always grow back. You know what I mean? So they can't deplete. You can't deplete a everlasting. The everlasting. So to say. There's no depletion. No matter how much energy it gives out, it's not depleted at all.
There is absolute wool, but there is not absolute wolf.
Very good. Yes.
I think it's an enlightening talk. We could even publish parts of this if you don't mind in
I
the
don't
channel.
mind. I don't mind at all. Yeah, whatever, what's mine is yours, you know what I mean? I don't mind at all. Yeah, whatever.
I think it would be a way to make it more interactive. I see the response of people when I publish reunions or meetings.
Yeah.
There is a certain feeling of responsiveness. Some people want to feel part of the conversation.
No, absolutely. Yeah, I missed the boat on that last time. I apologize about that. I know you invited me for a conversation on the channel before, and I kind of see, and that's how I could relate to that, what you were saying about Israel, about that feeling of putting yourself out there, and and it takes courage. That's the courage, you know what I mean? Instead of being reserved and back back office or whatever, however you want to call it, you have to have that courage to be the light,
Exactly.
and I'm still learning that, and I'm still growing with that, and and anything I could do to help, I truly want to be
That's part of the movement in the Enneagram. Some of us are introverted. It doesn't mean we are shy necessarily, but we
right,
tend to keep everything for ourselves and never share it with others. But as soon as we start moving outwards, this in the personality types is going from the 9 to the 3. So the 3 is the goal maker or the enthusiast. And he wants to shine, but if you shine from a point of introversion, then it's not vanity. You show yourself because you value
right,
yourself and you share what you have to give to the world.
right.
It's different when you want to be seen or be recognized or considered as someone very wise. That's vanity.
Right.
It's a
Big
different
difference.
movement.
Yes. Yeah, me too. Like, having this conversation is a lot more, natural, and it's comfortable. But when you say, "Oh, this conversation now is gonna be published," and then I'll have that in my mind here, and that will be like a stumbling block to me. I get like camera shy, so to say, Yeah. So here it's how would we call, more spontaneous, you know what I mean? More open. When if I don't want the answers to become mechanical, because I know it's being recorded, or it's the purpose to be on the channel. You know what I mean? And that kind of sets my mindset in a different place, because I'll be coming from a different place. But I could now, me realizing that, I mean, that's helping me overcome though too. It's helping me, also be the best that I could be, you know what I mean? Helping me out of a shadow, Yeah, but very, very good. Always very good to meet up with you and talk. And I appreciate your time, and appreciate you in sense taking care of me here, and and and
we take care of each other every time we meet.
Yeah,
In a sense, it's a reciprocal support.
It is. That's that circle. That
If I don't share what I have to share, I cannot keep growing.
That's beautiful. Totally beautiful. Well, thank you once again for your time, brother. I appreciate it very much.
Thank you.
Yes.
Let's continue growing.
Yes, please. As you always say, absolutely. That's very encouraging. Yes.
See you next week.
Oh, yes. Yes. That's my hope and my prayer.
Okay.
I'm faithful about it.
Oh.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, enjoy your evening.
You too. Blessings.
Blessings.